there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Bundles, and today's video is going to be going over the top 5 things that I wish I would have known before getting into entrepreneurship. If you've been following this channel for some time, you know I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do multiple things. I have a nonprofit. I am a realtor. I was going to say real estate agent, but either or I'm a real estate agent, realtor. I do content. I also sell hair extensions. There's a lot of different things that I have my hands involved in. And so I just want to share with you all some tips that I've learned along my way. If you are interested in selling hair, be sure to click the link down below. You can get started very seamlessly with my dropshipping program that I've been running for years at this point. You can also purchase my dropshipping ebook. Just teaches how to grow your business and upscale your business from starting at dropshipping to purchasing in bulk, which, you know, the higher profit lies when you buy in bulk. So if you're interested in any of that, or if you're interested in the products that I offer, click the link down below. All of that is in my description. But without further ado, if you like topics like this, let me know in the comments. Just give me a smiley face or a thumbs up or something in the comments to let me know that you like this type of video, or give me a thumbs up. I would prefer both if you're feeling extra nice. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that post notification bell. That way, when I upload a video, you will be alerted. So I'm going to look at my notes like I typically do because I want to stay on topic and I don't want to take too much of your all's time. So the first tip that I wish I would have known early on, I did know this early on, but I wish I would have known like earlier. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to get into the whole backstory of my hair extension business, but I do wish that I would have learned to reinvest into my business sooner. And so what that looks like is having an actual reinvestment plan and percentage strategy when before you actually launch your business. So you know, okay, I'm going to invest this percentage back into the business. This percentage is going to me. This percentage is going to my business partner. This percentage is going to just a savings, like a reserve. This percentage is going into inventory, and just making sure that you have a system for when you actually start making money. Now, what a lot of people do, and this is what I did, I was like, you know, once I get my first sale, I'll worry about that then. Let me start generating money before I start actually like putting together these, you know, plans. And what happens is a lot of times when you start generating sales, either you generate sales and it's slower than what you anticipated. So the money kind of just, it seems like it just leaves, like it's sitting there, but because it's sitting there so long and you're not getting consistent orders, a lot of the money gets eaten up in one area. Like you might just take some money out to pay for your website, and then take some money out to buy a bulk order of inventory, and then take some money out for your website again the next month, and then take some money out for shipping supplies. And then before you know it, you don't have any money and you really didn't invest how you plan to invest. And so you're coming out of pocket a lot more than anticipated, buying different items and supplies, and just operating, you know, having to pay operating expenses for your business. And that looks different depending on what type of business you're running, if you're online, if you're brick and mortar, and things like that. But having a structure kind of keeps everything in order. So I wish I would have gone into my business having a separate business bank account, and also having a specific, like I said, a reinvestment plan and strategy, especially if you have a business partner. Just having everything in writing, because things do start to change, or they can change a lot of times when you actually start making money, getting orders. The next thing that I wish I would have done is creating a system. So a lot of times when I do consultations, one thing that I hear from entrepreneurs is that, you know, hey, I really don't know what to do for my business. I get up every day. I'm an online business. I made my post on social media. I posted on Instagram, posted on TikTok. I made a YouTube video. Like, there's nothing else for me to do. And that's just not true. You need to have a system. Like, I really wish that I had a system in place like I do now in the beginning, because that really would have propelled my business in the direction that it needed to go in. And what I mean by a plan is having a set schedule of what you're doing for your business. So it doesn't have to be like, one of the perks of being an entrepreneur is that you do have flexibility, right? Like, I don't have to punch in at a certain time for my hair business. I could, you know, I'm really working all day until I say, you know, hey, I don't want to work anymore. And the longer I've stayed in business, the more strategic I've gotten with being able to plan my business hours. So I don't really work past 8 p.m. That's for any of my businesses. Like, I typically don't even work past 8 p.m. when it comes to real estate. When I'm working with my clients, like, I typically do everything before 8. That way 8, I can start winding down. I can do like some last minute homework if I need to. I can just relax and spend time with family. I don't really have to work all day, every day, because you can get caught up working all day too, which is something else that I wish I would have structured better. Just my family work-life balance, but I didn't include that in the 5, but that is something else that I could include now, just talking to you while I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I really wish that I would have created a system. So, getting up and saying, okay, so the first part of my day, I'm going to look at reaching out to potential leads, like reaching out to potential clients and customers. So that could be me going on Instagram and me looking under posts to see if anyone commented, reaching back out and asking if they have any additional questions, if they saw something on the website that they're interested in. That could be me going through my DMs. That could be me making a post and asking people to, ask questions freely. That's me going back through my abandoned cart emails. So pretty much my goal is to try and make contact with at least 10 people each day. Not saying you're going to get sales each day, but it's kind of like planting seeds. So some of the contacts that I would make like the week prior wouldn't contact me back until like 2 months later, but I'm constantly building my funnel because I'm reaching out to like 10 people a day. And then some people are coming back at different times. And I'm again reaching out to different people, and some people are coming, back at different times. So you have to have a process in place that's going to feed your tunnel, like feed your book of business and keep things moving. And then also being sure to set time aside to create content. Now, content, that's just the new wave. Like that's just the direction that we're in business. You pretty much you have to create some kind of content at this point to stay relevant. I don't want to say have to, but with a lot of businesses, you typically, that's the way that promotion is going in advertising, and people are on their phones all day. So YouTube is a great form of marketing. People are always on TikTok. So TikTok is a great form of marketing. People, you just have to go where people are. And a lot of people now are on the internet. So, setting aside a block for that. And then also setting aside a block to get out and build relationships. Now, when I say get out, you don't necessarily have to get out because, like I said, most people are online. So that looks like contacting different creators that are in the same industry as you, asking for collabs. That looks like doing a podcast and pairing up with different entrepreneurs. I've done that. That looks like maybe going to different local shops or salons if you're in the hair industry and making partnerships like with them, just kind of like some referral type of system. But whatever it looks like for you, you get out and you figure out a way to connect with other professionals in your industry. And then you look at ways to continue to build up your community. So like with your newsletter, okay, you look at creating new newsletters and you look at how your newsletters have been doing and, are there any sales that are coming up? So just really blocking out certain times throughout the day and creating a system where you're touching every vital part of your business. That way you're not just sitting there all day like, what else do I do besides create a YouTube video? You actually have a strategic plan. And every day it's working toward feeding each part of your business. And you're going to see growth a lot of times faster doing that than just hitting your business at one area. Okay, I created content and that's it. Okay, I check my abandoned carts and that's it. But this way you're actually creating a system. So I wish I would have done that earlier on. Another thing that I wish I would have done earlier on is stay more innovative. Now, I don't mean that you have to constantly keep up with trends all the time, but I'm saying like innovative to the point where I should have started looking at different ways to make money. As an entrepreneur, one thing that is certain is that business is not always going to stay the same. Businesses change. No matter if you're a small business, if you're a large business, just business changes based on the economy, based on the season, based on production, based on what's going on with in the world. Are we able to get shipments in? Are we not? The government shut down? Is it not? There's just a lot of things, tariffs. So you also want to be familiar on what's going on in the world because it's going to impact your business. And then that's going to have an impact on you as an entrepreneur. So when I say stay innovative, just thinking of creative ways to stay in front of people and also thinking of creative ways to make more money. Like recently I went to a seminar, an investing seminar, and just learned about investing and trading, options and just different things like that, because I always am looking at the next way to make money. Like I'm not saying I'm giving up my hair business, but I'm also looking at different ways to make money with my hair business, right? Like I'm not okay with just, if, Like for example, for hair, the hair industry has changed. There's still money in the hair industry, a lot of it, and there's still great opportunity for people that want to start their hair business, right? But the hair industry is not the same as it was when I first started. There's a lot more competition. There's a lot there. The virgin hair is easier to access than it was before. And I don't ever want to say a market is too saturated, because I believe that if you have a passion to do something, there's always room for you, and there's definitely enough money. But you have to understand that times change, and so we just want to make sure that, okay, what are we doing to make sure that even if our sales slow down, even if our sales speed up for a season, I mean, what I just, want to always see what else I can do to ensure that I am maximizing my money making ability to the max. What else can I do? So I'm always going to look at different ways to make money. I wish I would have been doing that too. Sometimes you can get tunnel vision, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with focusing all of your time on just one business at a time. I don't want to say all of your time, but focusing on one business at a time, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do wish that I was a little bit more open-minded in looking at different streams of income earlier, because I did later on. I started doing YouTube, and that became a stream for me. I started becoming a Shopify partner. That became a stream. I started doing different collaborations. I started doing a podcast. That became a stream. I started offering drop shipping services. That became a stream. I wrote my ebook. That became a stream. So it's just like I started doing that. I just wish I would have done that earlier on, because if times change, because you know they are going to change, you just don't know when, you still want to make sure that you're ahead of the game. You still want to make sure that you have enough money to invest in another business if you need to invest in investments if you need to make sure that your business can stay afloat if you need to. Like you just need that additional working capital. And you also need to be able to have money to pay off your debt so that your credit stays at a good point, where you can have the freedom to do, different things. So you just want to keep that in mind too. A lot of people talk about quitting their 9-to-5. I think it's premature when I hear the conversations most of the time, because a lot of people don't think about, their insurance. They don't think about, well, hey, you're making good money now, but how much do you have saved? They don't think about having months saved before they quit. It's not about how much you're making. I look at, how much do you have the potential to lose? And can you afford to lose? And, a lot of people are going to say, maybe, but I don't want to. And that's great. So, but in business, there are going to be gains and losses. So you just want to see what other options are going to be worth that risk for you, and never limit yourself to just one stream of income. It's pretty much what I'm saying. And that brings me to my next thing. That brings me to my next point: create multiple streams of income. I pretty much just wish, like in my earlier stages, that I had multiple streams of income. It just makes you feel so much more free. It takes a lot of anxiety off, where I'm like, I'm not just focused on one stream. So even if this stream isn't doing what I thought it was going to do, bills are still paid, I'm still fed, I'm still able to, live and be comfortable. So I wish I would have done that too. And then the last thing that I wish I would have done earlier on is educate and relate. Educate and relate. So I wish I would have just spent more time educating myself, not necessarily on hair extensions, but just on how business works, right? Because I got discouraged the first time that I started my hair business, and I just quit. It wasn't until I had a pep talk with my brother in his living room that I got back into the groove of things, and I didn't quit again, and my business actually started working for me. But I still got discouraged. I just didn't understand the whole in and out part of business. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to vlog my experiences, because I was learning a lot. I was watching YouTube videos, and I was watching entrepreneurs, and I was just seeing the glitz and glam of it. And when I started actually doing the business for myself, I'm like, wait a minute, it don't look pretty today. Wait a minute, I did take a loss. Well, wait a minute. Dang, I sold some hair, but I didn't price my products right. So I took a loss on even the sale that I made. Wait a minute. So I just started looking at some different things that I didn't really, expect to happen. And I'm like, okay, so let me start vlogging this. I wanted to vlog the entire experience, even hiring for the salon. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know I was going to have to wait. It's just so much that I didn't expect. So I wish I would have just spent more time educating myself on business, just how business works. And okay, every business is going to be different, but just the fundamentals of business. And then also being more relatable. So one thing too, in the beginning, I was a little nervous to get on camera. I was nervous to share like all of my business journey, but just being more relatable earlier on, like sharing my concerns as well as my inspirations, sharing my gains as well as my losses, like just being more transparent and just sharing. Now, you don't have to share if you don't want to. You can just post strictly about your business, products and services, but I wanted to take people along the journey with me. So I just needed to be more open earlier on. So those are some things that I really wish I would have done. Let me know in the comments if there are some things that you wish you would have done earlier on as an entrepreneur. I do want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.